Hello. Give me 1 second, guys. Oop. Let's see. I'm just going to pop in this browser source to my vertical sources. There we go, for all those mobile viewers. Not that you'll be able to see much because this is text, so I'm going to kind of try and even that up, make it easier to see. Oh, it really doesn't like browser capturing. Okay. Hopefully it'll even out over time. So we are here. We are doing a little bit of prep for my next D&D session because that's this evening, and I've got a couple of hours. I'm hoping that it's going to be pretty easy. Essentially, most of what we're doing is this cool adventure, Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. In fact, I'll pull up that image real quick. Pretty cool thing. It's all about going into the hells and saving the day. It's really massive good versus massive evil. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. The book itself is somewhat of a mess. I can't say I have read through the entire part of it or the entire thing of it, but I don't want to say it's bad. Like, I think a lot of people decide that it's insanely bad, and it isn't. It's actually somewhat decent, but as a lot of people say, it is a really good set of ingredients for an adventure without being the best campaign. So what I've done, so at the start, to give you an idea, I will give you the very first thing that the players hear in the original adventure. Let me get to that. So you have, welcome to Baldur's Gate, a veritable nest of rats and vipers clinging to the rocky slopes overlooking the Chianthar River. From their high perches in the upper city, the local nobles, known as patriarchs, gaze down with veiled contempt upon the common rabble in the grimy lower city, which hugs the foggy harbor. The whole of Baldur's Gate reeks of blood, crime, and opportunity. One can easily fathom why pirates and traders are drawn to this place like flies to a carcass. So, cool. This is a Baldur's Gate adventure, right? You know, we're going to be in Baldur's Gate. Following the river farther east would eventually lead you to Elturel, capital city of the Holy Land of Elturgard, or at least that was the case until a few days ago. The flood of refugees from Elturel has gotten worse since news first arrived that the city has fallen. Everyone is saying Baldur's Gate is next, but no one truly knows who or what has claimed Elturel. Okay, so two things, and this is my frustration, right? This is not an adventure that takes place primarily in Baldur's Gate. That's issue number one. That's the first act of this. The first chapter of 5 takes place kind of in Baldur's Gate. Problem 2. most of this adventure involves the city of Elturel. Hi, Yasmin. This adventure revolves around Elturel. And in the first 2 paragraphs that you get as a player, you are told nothing about Elturel except that it's gone. Hangnail's been bugging me all day. So that just leads to a really weird situation, right? Where the core, like, emotional tie to the adventure is that Elturel is important to the players. And that's weird, right? Because this narration does not give a shit about the thing you're supposed to give a shit about. There are 5 paragraphs of information that they want me to narrate to people. And the thing that they're supposed to care about, the thing that the party is supposed to care about, is statistically the shortest of these 5 paragraphs, and it gives nothing. The rest of this is either describing Baldur's Gate or describing the Flaming Fist, and now all of this was brought to your attention shortly after you were drafted by the Flaming Fist to help defend the city. Your orders are to speak to Captain Zaj at the Basilisk Gate, which pierces the city's eastern wall. This is just not great. And I don't mean that in an asshole way. Like, they were trying their best, but this just makes the rest of the adventure, the rest of the campaign, kind of, in my opinion, fall flat. So what I did, and I'm going to try and pull it up because this is how I fixed it. So, you see, if you want to make this adventure work better, and I am cribbing all of this basically from Sly Flourish, which, as far as a YouTube channel goes for D&D prep, it is a rock star of a YouTube channel. However, I remember reading the start of this adventure a couple of times and being so confused by how much effort they were putting into Baldur's Gate. Oh, hi, Nyavar. I hope you're doing well. You've checked in more than once, but my counter keeps resetting because Streamer Bot keeps needing to be reinstalled. Once I shift back to my stream PC, that will no longer be an issue. Oh, well, hello then. Yeah, we're doing some D&D prep. I'm talking about how terrible the intro to an admittedly cool D&D adventure. The intro is terrible. And the reason being, they basically say, hey, like to give the TLDR of what I've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. Hey, you're in this shithole of a city. You are supposed to care about the fact that this, like, bastion of good in the world is gone. This other city that we explained to you exists in 2 sentences. Terrible. Horrible thing. You care about that. Care about that horrible thing that happened. And by the way, you're employed now. You've been drafted by a bunch of other assholes in the asshole city to basically keep the peace from the refugees from the good city. Anyway, care about the refugees, but you're also supposed to control them. And that's bad. That's a bad intro to an adventure where you're supposed to descend into the hells and save people's lives. It's just weird to me. I don't understand why they would do that. But all of that to say, I'm trying to pull up another adventure because I will lend you some cool stuff. There is Baldur's Gate: The Fall of Elturel. This is an incredible adventure. It is designed to get you from level 1 to like maybe level 3. And the idea is that you get the chance to, first off, meet the colorful cast of people that you're supposed to care about. B, do some really cool, stuff around Elturel, the city you're ostensibly supposed to care about. 3, you're supposed to enjoy like a few vignettes of the wonders and interest of this nice place. D, notice I'm alternating really well. You're supposed to kind of get some plot hooks that draw you in. So the idea is, you start in a tavern and everyone's just pissed off because Elturel is like, I'm trying to think of a poignant, like Elturel is like Eagleton in Parks and Rec versus Pawnee as Baldur's Gate. Like Baldur's Gate is a cesspit of scum and villainy, and Elturel is the opposite of that. It has a second sun that looms above it to burn the undead, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. Neat stuff. But everyone's pissed because they're supposed to have peace talks and like help each other out because it's bad shit. But unfortunately, the guy who starts this meeting, Thavius Krieg, he is not here. It's really frustrating that he's not here because he started everything. So, because he's not here, Gideon Lightward, who is, if I can recall, let's see if I can pull him up. Let's see. Gideon Lightward is a priest of Lathander, and he is like, well, Thavius Krieg isn't here, but hey, the Hell Riders are going to go out and deal with some of this cult activity that's going around here because maybe that'll fix some of the problems. And you get this really cool teenager named Rhea Mantlemorn, and Rhea Mantlemorn is like boss bitch, like she's great. And as you do this cult slaying, as you return, Elturel gets slurked into hell, and you get this really cool like intro that makes you care, which is awesome. Like that's incredibly good. I love that. It feels nice. It feels good. And I think it's a great intro to the adventure. It definitely clears the way a lot better. It also gives you the opportunity to have your background be a Hell Rider, which is cool. I like that a lot. But anyway, I ended up opting to replace the first session with this little mini adventure, this 22-page mini adventure that's actually only 14-page mini adventure. And that turned into 7 sessions because after we got through El Terrell Falling, everyone wanted to rescue everyone that they could. So we spent 5 more sessions going through the journey to Baldur's Gate, which was fun. I liked that. But what that means for balance is, and I'm going to pull that back up. What that means for balance is that now, oh God, it really doesn't like my browser. So we're going to, give me 1 second. We're going to pop that out of there. So that way we won't struggle as hard. God, 1 second. God, it really doesn't like my browser. We're going to take that off for a second. Sorry, folks on mobile, you may sense a slight disturbance in the force for a minute. There we go. Let's bring that down. Jeez, that fixed a lot of stuff. There we go. Something's going on with the vertical recording. Sorry, guys. I'm going to undo the delete browser. Going to bring that back in. Oops. Cool. Now we're back. So, let's go back to where we were. What we've got on our hands right now is, I'm going to pull that up because I'm going to need that in a moment. And I'm going to pull that back up because we'll need that in a moment. I'm going to pull this up. So, what we need to do is take this adventure. Now, by all accounts, what we've done is we've excised most of this. So we've done the Basilisk Gate. They have entered the city. We have gone to the Elf Song Tavern. And that is for, both of those are for characters of level 1. Now, you'll notice in here that my Descent into Avernus campaign has 5 level 4s. So we have an average party level of level 4. So their next thing is the Dungeon of the Dead 3, which is really cool. Like, it's a neat idea, but it is designed for characters of level 2. Now, it's a difficult thing for level 2 characters, so level 3 would be ideal. However, the problem with the Dungeon of the Dead 3, and I will show you, is that it is a long dungeon. And what I mean by that is this is a dungeon crawly dungeon, and it's beautiful. Like, I love this map. This is an incredible map. I am going to show you the number of spots in there. This is a very good map. However, I can tell you with absolute certainty that the bathhouse would take a session. D5 and maybe D6 and 7 and D9 would take a session. D10, D11, 12, and 13 would take a session. 14, 15, 16, 17 would take a session. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and maybe 23 would take a session. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 would take a session. 30, 31, 32, 33 would take a session. I don't have 6 sessions. I want to finish this in a timely manner. I also have a player that has run this adventure before, and it behooves me to change things around. So, with that in mind, I am thinking we're going to change this around a little bit. We're going to use Dungeon Scrawl for this really quick. So, here's the rub. So, we have a few things that we're doing in this dungeon. The players are trying to figure out where Thavius Krieg is, and they're trying to get paid because Rhea Mantlemorn has promised them gold if they can get their act together and recover the gold that she has promised them. So, what we're going to do, I am going to start making a better version for our group of this map. And we're going to do that by making a 5-room dungeon, because 5-room dungeon is easy for me to run, and it's hard for people to, for lack of a better word, delay and harsh our mellow on. So what we're going to do, we're going to make some catacombs that will be kind of interesting to go through while also maintaining a heck of a lot better pacing. That was kind of not great looking, so we're going to Control Z those. So we're going to say that this is the staircase down. So I'm going to see if they have, do we have stair textures? No. Do we have stairs? Stairs, perfect. Oops, so we're going to, nope. One second. Stairs tool. So stair. Nope. Okay, wait. Okay, so click. There we go. Stairs down. So this is going to be our stairwell down, right? The boathouse or the bathhouse, we're not going to worry with. That's not necessary to think about. But as far as stairs go, we're going to have a puzzle in the bathhouse. So that way we can satiate the puzzle side of our brain. There's going to be a combat in the bathhouse because otherwise, why even have a battle map? And then we're going to have these catacombs that are designed to kind of waste some time for the players. So with that in mind, I'm thinking we're going to make... I think I said in my preliminary notes, I have those in my pocket. We're going to have 3 combats and 2 puzzles. One combat is going to be in the bathhouse itself. One puzzle is going to be in the bathhouse itself. And then we're going to have 2 combats in the catacombs and a puzzle in the catacombs. So, with that in mind, we're going to make a bit of a maze that has a few outcroppings to make things interesting. So we're going to do a little 3x3 room here, and it is going to be a small kind of hideaway with some lore. This is going to be a lore secret room where they find some interesting stuff. This is going to be a collapsed tunnel of some kind, if I can make that looking cool, but I don't think I can, which is fine. No biggie. We have object. Let's see. We do not. That's fine. So, we're going to keep going. All right. And we're going to do 1-to-1 because I'm tired of having to be precision perfect here. So, oops. We're going to make this look a little lived in. You've got little drainage basins. And then this continues going down and around in this way. This is a catacomb, but it's kind of a situation. Let's see. Can I make this wall look rough? Not worth it. This is not going to be the final product. I am going to just draw this on a whiteboard. But anyway, if I set this up right here, I can trace it out. But anyway, so we're going to have this catacomb, and I'm going to try and make this a somewhat decent 3-room dungeon, right? And this 3-room dungeon or 5-room dungeon is going to largely involve 2 sets of rooms that they can go in to kind of try and solve a problem that exists. Now, we kind of want our players to engage with one thing first if they can, but if they're clever, we want to be able to reward them. So we're making this a incredibly simple dungeon, right? And we're doing this for 2 reasons. One, I want to challenge them quickly and figure out the end of that challenge quickly. So the reason I say that is because like I said earlier, I have kind of a deadline. I want to get this kind of donezo. And to do that, we just got to act quick. So what are the players' goals when they get to this bathhouse? They are trying to uncover where some cultists are. They're trying to figure out where Thavius Krieg is, and they're trying to figure out what to do next. Those are 3 things that we need to do here. So, A, we need some cultists. Good news is the cultists are going to be in the bathhouse. Easy peasy. No need to worry there. Problem B, they need to figure out where Thavius Krieg is. And to do that, we need someone who has an in for that knowledge. The answer is going to be, drum roll please. Where is he? Let's see. Mortlock Vanthemper. Mortlock generally says, hey, you know, you should go to this tavern called the Low Lantern. I don't want to do this because they're already high enough level and I want to get them to Avernus. I don't care about this boat. This boat does not matter to me. It's a cool thing. It's a cool idea. I just don't care about the boat. The boat doesn't matter. And so, if the boat doesn't matter, we're gonna skip it. We're going to put Amric Vanthemper in the manor, the villa, because the villa is kind of cool, right? Like, the villa is something I do want to fully flesh out, because there's a lot of cool things and people in the villa, and there's a lot of cool things under the villa. That's neat. I like this. So, we make Dungeon of the Dead 3 super, super cool, super chill, but also super quick. We're going to go ahead and do the fight as expected. We're going to make it a little bit stronger. These 3 female human Nightblades are not enough, and a Necromite of Merkel is not enough. So we're going to try and make that a lot more difficult. But I'm also going to introduce the idea of a villain party because I want to use them. The Grave Order makes sense because you've got, you know, Merkel. And the Grave Order is a bunch of undead fuckers. So, with that in mind, I like the idea of kind of using these guys, basically, we're going to use these guys as a better kind of combat. So I'm going to use these. They will make for a much more interesting series of encounters. And their job, we're going to say that their job is not to kill the party. Their job is to capture the party and take them to their bosses. Because, yeah, I mean, they want to serve Thavius Krieg, who has made a deal with Zariel to take this in. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I'll be right back. We're not going to talk about my choice of hydration. Anyway, so the idea is going to be, we're butchering a lot of this adventure because I want to we're looking to get to Avernus really quickly. We want to go to hell and have a fun time. And the Baldur's Gate subplot of all of this is kind of extremely, like, it's just, it feels a little bit messy. So we're going to get through it. So we're going to have this cool group called the Grave Order, right? And they are neat. They're cool. They're interesting. They're fun to fight. They've got this cool idea about them, of all of them working together. And they've got cool magic items, which is neat. They have these villain party actions. I like how they handle it, because it also means that everyone gets this cool fight instead of, 3 fights that are oh gosh, I don't even think it's 3 fights. I think there's in the boathouse there, I think there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 or 7 fights in here, and that's like interesting, but I just, it's too much. And I will make sure that they still get some treasures from this, but I feel like it would be much better done if we have a villain party that is trying to hurt them. So we're going to have in the bathhouse, we're going to have this be a single fight with an ambush of a couple of people. So let's go ahead and start building that. Oops. So we're going to call this bathhouse. Is that how you... Yeah, it is 2 H's. I don't know why. The bathhouse. Bathhouse ambush, right? So we've got the bathhouse ambush. We're going to have some fun with it. Now, I like the idea of one of these guys being a death cultist. I like that. It will give them a little bit of like, it gives them a bit of a challenge. Like, it's hard. It's not going to be easy. We're going to go ahead and pop that in there. So we're going to have a human death cultist. We're going to have let's see. I think we're going to go ahead and do couple of Baneites. So we're going to do 2 Fists of Bane. Actually, we're going to do 1 Fist of Bane, and then we're going to do some Night Blades. There we go. Because then, so there we go. We have four Night Blades, which they'll die pretty quickly. They don't deal a lot of damage, but they'll probably always hit because they'll be able to get advantage. The Fist of Bane will help with kind of like keeping them freaking out because they'll have like a decent mace. Pretty decent. And then the Death Cultist will keep the fight really interesting by empowering any of them that die. And it will help as it will deal them, or it'll give his allies more stuff to worry with. And he can when a creature the cultist can see within 30 feet of them fails a death saving throw or dies, the cultist siphons their faltering life energy. The cultist chooses a creature within 30 feet of the cultist who isn't unconscious, and that creature regains 14 hit points. So, more than likely, I will have him be the scary one that keeps things going. So we're going to do that. That alone is enough to make this a freaky fight. It's enough to kind of keep everyone on their toes. This will be good as a starter, a appetizer of what remains. All right. So we've got that. And what I'm going to do, this is what I like to do anytime I'm working on stuff like this. I like to load up a encounter sheet because here, and I'll show you some. I have some of these somewhere, but I just don't remember where. But it'll probably look something like this, where you have kind of a list of what everything is and does to make it kind of easier to run. But for now, I am just going to worry about it on here. But what I like to do is take all of these nice, like, concise things, and I like to make a quick cutout print screen of them so I can put them all on one page. I don't need them to be I don't need them to be in the best quality ever, but I need them to be visible and seeable, so that way I can make them, I can make it easier for me to print them out, put them on my character or my D&D screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my pictures, go to my screenshots. Perfect. So I have this guy, and then I open up my favorite image editor, which in this instance is probably going to be Affinity Designer. Give me 1 second. Oh, I forgot that it is not installed. You guys are going to have to deal with me installing that really quick. Oh, I think they've done something horrible, so we're just going to open up MS Paint, which I generally would not like using, but we're going to deal with it. 8.5 by 11. And that'll give us basically the same situation. And then I'm going to paste or drag. We're going to drag. Nope, we can't do that. So we are going to download Affinity real quick. I'm going to go ahead and hide this browser while I do so. Yeah. I don't love that I need to change how I grab Affinity. It does bum me out. But we're going to go ahead and just download Designer for now so we can get that done. You'll have to forgive me if we drop a couple of frames while I download things way too quickly. All right, there we go. Just gonna let that do its thing really quick. And here we go. Perfect. So I'm gonna leave all of that, put that back up. There we go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be taking this thing right here. I'm going to be filling my first encounter thing on here with it. That way I can see everything that I need to see on one page. That's always my goal when it comes to, pardon me, when it comes to having these things done. And it also makes it easier because I don't have to print as many things if I have them all kind of done properly. So see, now I can I'll share my final thing in a moment. Here, in fact, just to make this easier, I will stop using my browser source and just do a desktop capture, display capture. There we go. There we go. So now we've got a display capture. So now you can see what I'm doing. And there we go. Problem solved. So, as you can see, I am just popping this up here, and I'm trying to leave some space for stuff that I might need later. like tracking and stuff for anything that I might need, because, you know, in the thick of combat, you might just need to say, all right, let me do my job over here. I don't have to be perfect with this, but I want to be, you know, that like perfectionist thing. I do wish that they would make these easier to cut and paste. Because as someone who does do printout notes, it can be a little bit of a nuisance trying to get this to work properly. But there we go. See, we have what we need for encounter 1. And on here, I can actually go ahead and write my scene notes. So I'm going to put in a font that doesn't absolutely stink to look at. We'll go ahead and use heliotrope, because I like heliotrope a lot. Scene notes. And then we will do a frame text so we can take some actual notes for this scene. And the answer of what are we going to do here is going to be to set the scene, we're going to say that the cultists are going to be doing that they've prepped. They know that the party is showing up, so they're going to conceal their intentions. We're going to say that we're going to say a DC 15 insight or perception check will reveal their intentions. If fail, cultists get a surprise round. Then puzzle, because there is going to be a puzzle. We're going to say puzzle. There are 3 drains. There are 3 drains within the bath house. 1 leads into the catacombs, and 1 leads to the pit where they discard their bodies. The topmost bath drains into the catacombs. The middlemost bath drains into a kind of pit where victims are dumped. The bottommost bath drains into, I'm thinking, maybe it doesn't drain into anything. Maybe it is a red herring. It just drains. There we go. Clues for this, secrets for this. Clues, the middle bath, which is also the most used, has a distinct kind of not sickly odor, but when drained, it is definitely more odorous. DC Insight. Let's say 12 DC Insight for odor on middle. Maybe DC 15 investigation for kind of the architectural leanings, I guess, of the bathhouse for top. And then I think that'll be fine. I don't think we need any additional clues. They'll either find this out or they won't. That's gonna bug me. You gotta maintain that. All right, and then that will give them some stuff. We're gonna do treasure because I think treasure is important. So we're gonna go ahead and start dispersing a lot of this treasure early on, because if we entice them and then we take it, that would be cool. So we're going to look at the treasure that they're supposed to be getting from this dungeon. It looks like they've got, let's see. Looks like they have 3 spell books. They probably don't need these because none of them are wizards. So we're not going to worry about that. Let's see. What else have we got? So treasure. So we can say this is the necromancer that they're facing here. So we're going to go ahead and say that she has this spell book, dusty spell book. There we go. We're going to go ahead and add that into our thing. And then we're going to increase the spacing to be, readable. That is still not spacing it to be readable. There we go. All right, cool. So we've got that. Neato. Let's see what else we've got. Mummy has 2 moonstones, so we'll put these in a cupboard. So 2 moonstones for eye sockets, and a bag of beans. So we're going to add those to, we could add those to the middle pit, the middle bath. That'll be cool. Because then they'll have a reason to investigate the rest. So, middle bath, pit of dead, has a mummy with 2 moonstones in eyes, bag of beans in chest. All right, so let's see what else we got, just to make sure. Because I'm thinking the rest... the rest of this, we can have with the evil party. So we're going to go ahead and worry about this for the evil party. It doesn't look... Let's see. Yep. So that looks like that's all the treasure we have to worry about. So I'm going to just copy that. And let's see. This is done. We're good here. This is more than enough to kind of be fine. So we're gonna do that so I can read it from afar. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and print this. So that way I have that. I'm going to go ahead and just, let's see, I think that's, that should be fine. Pop that in there. We're going to go ahead and say fit to printable and print. And that will give us everything we need for the first encounter. And while that's printing, we're going to go ahead and get the next thing going. So I'm going to get this one out. And we are going to have the villain party. Now, the villain party is going to be fun because these guys actually are pretty nasty. I'm very excited about it. So I'm going to go ahead and build the encounter for it. And they're going to be nasty, but they should still be beatable. Thing is, though, they do want to win. Yeah. So there we go. We've got notes page 1. Easy peasy. So we're going to go ahead and add these guys to a thing. So we're going to start with Halloran Yandris. So we're going to have him. We're going to have Jedar Pike. Okay, put that there. Hello, Ivelan. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am, I hate to say it, I'm almost done. We're rewriting the Descent to be a little bit more more action adventure, less dungeon crawling, because I have a time frame. I have a time schedule. Okay, so we're going to add Lestheris. See, we're getting into medium territory, and then my seat. And then the horror. All right. And that's going to, they've got it listed as a deadly encounter. I think, I hate to say it, I think the encounter summaries are always a little bit lacking. Yeah, no, I love a good dungeon, but yeah, I hate the Baldur's Gate section, which is why I am trying to get us through it. As much as I like the concept of the dungeon crawl through the basement of the Bat House and the catacombs, it is the most boring part of the adventure to me to be in Baldur's Gate when you have the anticipation of everything else. Oh, thank you. I'm a big fan of you, Yonix1234 a dash in 1x. Sorry. I want to have more dungeon work within Avernus than Baldur's Gate, because Baldur's Gate is interesting, but if I wanted to have a campaign in Baldur's Gate, I could just have a campaign in Baldur's Gate, But anyway, so we've got these guys going. Let me check what they do, because I might as well go ahead and add the 4 decrepit skeletons, rotting zombie, and shade. Okay, so I'm going to have decrepit skeletons, rotting zombie, and shades added to my list of things to copy paste. Because the ideal solution is going to be, we are going to see this stuff pop off. So we're going to yet again pop this in just like so. Going to kind of bring that out to the side a little bit so we can see it, and also it's not going to pop off the side of the thing. Can I see that? Can I read that from a distance? I don't need to read it from a distance, but I just need to I need to read it just well enough to see what I'm working with. So we're going to do that. We're going to have some of this. Yeah, so Ivalon, just so you know, we're squishing the gigantic, like 29, 30 part catacombs into a 5-room dungeon with a little bit of secret, a little bit of puzzle, kind of a actual in-depth boss fight, and then most of the remainder is going to go in the villa for later, because I want to be able to actually get through some of this like Baldur's Gate stuff as quick as I can. Let's see. So we're gonna do this. They really, the pixeling of this just freaks me out. Let's get that. I don't have to be this perfect, but I want to be this perfect. We're going to pop that in here. This will probably take up the remainder of that. There we go. Yeah, no biggie. That works. In fact, we will just pop that up a little bit more. That gives us some spacing. Cool. All right, so that's 3 of these dudes. How many more do we have? 1, 2. Cool. Actually perfect. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in this. Let's see. How do they summon their stuff? Because they don't have much. Okay, so Jadar can animate skeletons. Lestheris animates 2 shades. My seat animates 3 corpses. Cool. So a bunch of minions, that's good. I like a bunch of minions. Hi, monkey boy. I hope you're doing well. So that'll give us some stuff to do. So we're going to go ahead and I 100% like the idea of going ahead and putting these right in front of who does what. So we're going to go ahead and put forward assault. Actually, no, I'm going to put them all right here in order because that feels pretty smart. So they can use these in any order, but can only use 1 per round after an enemy's turn. Let's see. I'm looking for something to homebrew like a monster or something. So I love the idea of classic like Romanian style vampires. I'm thinking like the vampires from The Strain, if you've ever seen that show. That's something that I'm going to be using a little bit in another campaign. Really fun. Got to be careful. If you get bit, you're infected, and you've got to deal with that quickly or you die. Stuff like that. It's been a while since I've homebrewed, though, so you'll have to forgive my oh, you made a vampire yesterday. Well, you know what? That's okay. New thing would be, let's see. I'm a big fan of something that mirrors the party, depending on what you've got. Having something that just absolutely is designed around being the antithesis. Well, like a doppelganger is nice, but something that forces people to act in ways that they normally wouldn't. Like, you know, if you've got someone that is a paladin, you know, radiant damage dealer, have something